and in a note sent to my email address, has appealed to you as Speaker to stop what he says is, quote, madness. That is the attempt inter alia to cause the officers of Save the Bays and their attorneys to be summoned before the Parliament for contempt. Firstly, as I recall it, there was no such order by you. He is wrong in that respect. He is also wrong in seeking to cast what has happened with this matter as some crusade for the privacy of citizens of the Bahamas. That is not only wrong, but foolish and disingenuous. This matter, Mr. Speaker, has gone way beyond the private legal action of Joseph Darville and Fred Smith. A judge of the Supreme Court has ruled, and this is what we keep saying, this is what this matter is about. A judge of the Supreme Court has ruled that members of Parliament can be injuncted from speaking in the House of Assembly. That is what this is about. So suddenly, the defenders of freedom of speech are fine in defending freedom of speech so long as freedom of speech is defended for everyone except members of Parliament. In fact, some of the members of Parliament last week disassociated themselves publicly from a scatological statement, a nasty and vile statement that was made about the Prime Minister, the members of his family, and members on this side. And rightly so. That same organization issued a statement this morning defending the right of those persons to make those nasty statements. Yeah. But do not defend the right of members of Parliament who are protected by law, absolutely, to make a statement in here. The matters about which he complains have been lawfully referred to the Committee on Privileges, which is now fully constituted and can sit to adjudicate the complaints of the members of Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I remind everyone that the Constitution gives Parliament the power to define the extent of the privileges of members of Parliament, and Parliament has done that. That definition says that no sanction, whether civil or criminal, can arise from what is said in this place by members of Parliament, what is said in this place. For a judge to give a permanent injunction saying that members of Parliament cannot speak about certain matters is anathema and not correct in law. It is also outside the scope of the judge's power. To give effect to this injunction would be to give this judge the authority to be in effect, or to in effect injunct Parliament and prevent it from meeting and discharging its responsibilities. Members of Parliament are bound to stand up to this, and Parliament must renounce and dismiss this without equivocation. In law, as it pertains to this matter, the Speaker is functus officio. And the reason I mention this, Mr. Speaker, is because there was an appeal made to you. First of all, it's based on a false premise that you made an order, which you never made. But an appeal was made to you to withdraw the matter from the Committee on Privileges. When someone is functus officio, that means that person, that authority has discharged his responsibility. And that's the end of that in law. Meaning that having sent this matter to the Committee on Privileges, the Speaker is relieved of any further action in the matter until the committee reports. The matter cannot be called back to the Speaker, as Mr. Darville now asks or seems to think. When a matter comes before the House, the Speaker takes a look, reviews the documents, and decides whether its probative worth outweighs its prejudicial value. The power to make this decision is in the exclusive domain of the Speaker. In the case of the emails, the Speaker determined its probative worth and that it was in the larger public interest and tabled the matter of the emails. Mr. Darville and his compatriots ought to respect the ruling and the Speaker and move on. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the matter was also referred by resolution of the House to the Committee on Privileges. So in any event, it cannot be overruled by any other authority. Proceedings of the House are not subject to judicial review, This is an established necessity in order for the doctrine of separation of powers to have its intended effect. The public needs to be reminded that MPs of this Parliament uncovered what they, in their own deliberate judgment, and we're not talking about the executive, not the government, the fact that the government and the members of Parliament may make up the same membership, that's a feature of our Constitution. But they're two separate institutions. One is the Parliament, so members can speak qua members of Parliament, or they speak as members of the government. This was qua members of Parliament. So a member of Parliament, two members of Parliament, got up in their own deliberate judgment and saw what was a plot by rich foreigners connected with Louis Bacon to use the law firm of Calendars & Co., in which Fred Smith QC is a partner, to pass a sum of $8 million through the firm in the space of a number of months to destabilize the government of the Bahamas. That was the allegation.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
There's no such thing as point of order for privilege.
Speaker.
Allow the member to finish. Take your seat, honorable member. Member, finish your statement.
Those MPs thought, in the interest of the sovereignty of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, the matter ought to be brought to Parliament. And it was. That is the privilege which members of Parliament enjoy. That is what this is also about. The committee has the power of summonses, and witnesses are obliged to appear in order to get to the bottom of what the allegations are. No member of Parliament has violated any law, at least the two members of Parliament involved, and I spoke to the member for Marathon this morning. No member of Parliament has violated any law to bring these matters to the House's attention. And as poorly written as the judgment is, not even the judge could find that as a fact. It is my hope that every person involved will do their best to cooperate with this so long as this matter is before the House and to bring it to its speedy conclusion. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, honorable member. Member for Charlotte. Before you say, order that the communication be brought up. Member for Charlotte, I know not what you, take your seat, honorable member. I know not what you intend to say. You rose on a point of order, so obviously you took issue with or felt some rule has been violated. The chair was able to, the member spoke privately to the chair to get the advice with respect to his allowance of it, and it was perused beforehand, and a decision has been made from this House as to what the next course of action is. And so anything that you may say or a member may say with respect to a judgment that came from this House would be ultra vires and outside of the rules. So I'm just indicating that to you beforehand before you give an intervention. The chair recognizes the member for